I'm going to tell you about the Pong game and about sprite animation. All right, and we're going to talk about balls and sprites that live in canvases. Okay, and I'm going to show you for instance first thing I'm going to show you is like how a ball can just move down. Okay, we're not going to use a clock timer. All right, we're going to use these sprites or balls, and these guys they kind of have their own internal clock. Like you'll notice this ball component, this guy, he has an interval, and every interval that ball is going to move by 5 in some direction. Okay, so that's kind of how it works. The UI is kind of set up. I've got a couple simple buttons. I've got a label for the score, and I've got another image sprite besides the ball, and that's going to be like the paddle. Okay, so let's go to the blocks. And like I said, first thing I'm going to do is just show you how to move the ball down with using kind of the ball properties. And one thing I wanted to show you is I've set the ball enabled to false. So I've got my phone projecting on screen here, so you're seeing the actual thing. That ball is not moving because his enable property is false. But what we're going to do is on the start button, we're going to change some of his properties. So let's go ahead and get a button start.click. And when that button is clicked, we want to do a couple things. We're going to enable the ball so he can start moving. Okay, so I'm going to go grab a set ball enabled property or block. Okay, and I'm going to set him to true. All right, and one thing I'm just going to show you is in App Inventor, there's a great thing. You can copy a block like this. And even though we don't want the enabled property, I can choose a different property. And what I want to do is say what the ball is going to do. So I want my heading, and which way I want the ball to go down. And I've got this little picture here. This shows kind of the way things work. But 0 degrees, goes up to 360, but 0 is to the right, 270 is down, 180 is left, 90 is up. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to make the ball go down 270. And later, I'll show you, we'll make this random. Okay, but right now, we'll just show you how to make the ball go down. And then we'll change the other properties of the ball. So I'm going to copy this guy again and paste it. I'm just using Command C and Command V to do the copy on my Mac. And I'm going to set the speed to 5. So I'm going to move 5 pixels. Speed is kind of misnamed. This means I'm going to move 5 pixels. And what I'm going to move 5 pixels every interval. So I'm going to set my interval, and this is in milliseconds, 1/1000th of a second. I'm going to just set this to 10. That's a pretty fast frame rate. But so basically I'm saying when I click the start button, I want to move this guy 5 pixels every 10 seconds. Okay? So let's go ahead and try this out. Let me move my picture here. And my phone's projecting, so it's not going to show you a smooth movement, but you'll see the ball actually move. I'm going to touch the start button, and you'll notice the ball will just move down. And that was very jagged. It's only because I'm projecting out. When I saw that on the screen of my phone, it was just a smooth animation. And it's smooth because this interval's real small. Every 10 milliseconds, something's changing. Okay. Okay. The other thing I want to do on this first video is we want to get the ball to the start. Like if I click start again, nothing would happen because he's already at the bottom. So when they click start, we also want to locate the ball. So not have him move in an animation, but first just get him up to the top of the screen up here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just use the move to operation, and I'm going to basically move to the middle of the canvas. All right, so I'll grab the move to. Let's just do that at the top, and in my X property, I want to go to the middle of the canvas. So I'm going to grab a reference to its width. I could go find out the width of my canvas, but I really don't know. I mean, it really depends on whose phone or whose tablet the app's running on. So I'm going to build a divide operation, and I'm just going to say whatever my width is of my canvas, let's take that and divide by 2. Okay, and that's my horizontal location for the ball, and it's actually going to make my ball a little bit to the right of the middle because really the X location is the left top corner of the image sprite. Okay, so this is kind of almost in the middle. We could make it, we could be a little more particular, and we could make it exactly. For the Y property, I'm just going to put a 0 in there. Okay, I want my ball to show up right at the top. Okay, and in fact, the XY coordinate for the ball is its top. Okay, so the ball will show up. We could put ball.radius in here if we wanted to have it show up like half the length of a ball down. Okay, so there we go. So now I believe if I touch my start button, you should see the ball pop up to the middle top and then go down. It won't be smooth again, but that's what you'll see. Okay, so this is the way to get your Pong game, at least the start button, working.